we've just lost Robert Redford not too long ago, so we're going with a Redford picture. Tim opposite Brad Pitt, 2001, Tony Scott, Spy Game. So you picked this one, and I thought it was a really good recommendation. So why don't you get the party started here?
I'm just going to go out there. I love this film. I really, really do enjoy this film. I think this is a fun film. It is kind of, I hate sometimes describing movies like this, but it's kind of a ride. Like I just get on it and then all of a sudden I'm at the end. And it's like, I don't really feel there's a lot of slow, pacing issues. It works really well. Tony Scott's done an amazing job with this. And I'm a little flabbergasted by, one, it didn't do well in the box office at all. And also, there's a decent amount of dislike for this film. Or not dislike, but just kind of thinking of it as an average to meh type of movie. And I don't know what they're watching. Like, I really don't. I mean, is it flawed? Sure. But what movie are you watching? I adore this film. And I mean, some of it is also how I watched it with my father, and he really liked it a lot and kind of was just like, pointing out things or, said some things. And it just kind of, so there is a little bit of that connection and nostalgia that I think maybe is wrapped up why I like it so much. But trying to be objective about it and looking at your face already and your nods is, I'm not crazy. So
no,
I want to throw it to you.
No, so I think this rates really highly within the spy genre and specifically with films that kind of center around CIA. Mm-hmm. And it's really, really pretty high. My favorite CIA film ever is probably Zero Dark 30, but that's a very, very different movie from this.
Yes.
Now, this is just a lot of fun. Mm-hmm. In Scott's direction, you're right, the pacing's really nice. The edit's really good. He's not quite gotten to his hyper-cutty method that he got to later in his career with movies like Domino and Man on Fire and Unstoppable, and I really like most of those movies. But I like that he's toned down with the kind of the way this is cut together and the way it's shot. And yeah, I had a really good time again. And I'd forgotten some stuff generally with the plot I'd remembered, but this is just Redford's time to shine.
Yeah.
Like, I think he's like 64, 65 when he does this. The charisma is still like oozes through. The character is low key hilarious.
Yeah.
I'm just going to give you one line. One of my favorite lines. He's in Berlin and he's talking to the gal and he's got the young girl on his arm.
That's right.
And she goes, "That Scotch is older than she is." And he's like, "Am I supposed to feel bad about that?" And that's just a little taste of how good the writing is. The script is great. The dialogue's really quick and snappy. The characters are really interesting, including the rest of his CIA cohorts, that you get this level of distrust amongst them because these guys are all trying to...
They're bureaucrats. They're trying to make their way up. And
they compartmentalize too.
Yeah.
Like, this is all a need-to-know basis and you don't need to know.
Yeah.
So no, I'm. When did you first see this?
It was early on. It was like probably 2001, 2002. I don't remember if I actually saw it in the theater or if we just watched it at home. But I know, like, because I had, either back from college or whatever. So this was right around the time that I was interning, either just right afterwards or like right in between my two stints there. And so it was a lot of fun to me as well. And so like sitting down with my dad and chatting about it afterwards was a blast. So there's a lot of parts he was just like, yeah, this is feels really real. Or, there's some of the things. Now, he had a very different life than Robert Redford, but it was definitely very, very interesting.
Right. Wonder with what the subject matter, I wonder if 9/11 hurt this film. It came out in November of that year, and I can't remember if I saw it in the theater or not. I don't think so. I seem to remember my dad getting the DVD pretty quickly though. But I don't think I remember going to a movie theater.
The only reason I would see it would have been probably my dad saying, "Hey." So I'm thinking maybe we didn't. But again, it's it's been a while and I can't quite remember the experience.
My dad was... Yeah, go ahead.
I just remember it was my first watching was with my dad.
Yeah. Yeah, same here. And my dad was a really big fan of Robert Redford.
Well,
Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid.
Jeremiah
and Jeremiah Johnson. Like he was just, really nice career. Mm-hmm. So yeah, he's still at the top of his craft in this. But what I was going to say is this movie, more than maybe any other that I could kind of recollect, feels like a passing of the baton between him and Pitt. And I think the comparison of Pitt to Redford is pretty fair.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think, generally speaking, I think Redford tends to play a little more intelligent character than Pitt tends to, but they both are very charismatic, very old school movie star. I think Pitt's kind of the last of a dying breed in my mind, of like a guy that still feels like a bona fide movie star. And this is, kind of, I wouldn't say mid-career. It's still fairly early career for Pitt, but I liked that kind of nod to it of like,
no, if this is supposed to be the passing of the torch, Robert Redford's not going down without swinging, without putting on a fight. My goodness, like he steals the show. Like,
yeah, he does.
I think Pitt is an absolutely stunning actor, that he gets overlooked so much because of some of the movies he's done in his past, the pretty boy nature, but I think he's actually quite stunning. But in this, Redford just shows him why he's king, like why Redford is still top dog. And I mean, and I'm not saying like there's a huge gap, but it's noticeable where I'm just Redford just on a whole nother level. Acting.
And it's Redford's film.
Yeah.
It's that character's movie. The script is not, Pitt's character Bishop is definitely secondary.
Yeah.
To Redford's, 30-year CIA veteran. Yeah. I just love how he plays people the whole time. It's just a lot of fun to watch.
Everybody.
Everyone.
There's not a single person that like really knows who he is,
No.
So.
That guy's like, I didn't know you liked me. And he just laughs. He's just like,
walks out. And
then he tells us, go ahead, yeah.
Tell the secretary, tell him the party's canceled.
Jeez.
He plays the long con with everybody. Like he doesn't know, like like the whole wife situation. Like no one really knows how many wives or what his birthday is or like everything. Like nothing.
A true spy. Yeah.
Yeah. He's like down on the wire, just like, hey, you know what? No one needs to know this information.
So this is basically this is like the more action heavy comedy tilted side of the coin from something like Tinker Tailor.
Yes. Yeah.
Like it's like the same coin and a totally different take on things. Even though the stakes are pretty high, there's just a lot of funny moments. And then just quippy stuff like, when did Noah build the ark, Gladys? Before the rain. Yeah. And that just gives you really nice insight into the character and how he is like not just one step ahead, probably two or three. Mm-hmm. How crafty he is. I love the montage of him teaching Bishop tradecraft.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That's one of the better montages I think I've seen in a film. Like of kind of the body of work that I've actually watched. The handling of that montage was really special.
Well, that whole Germany arc, like that middle arc that happens, is probably one of my favorites of the film.
It is.
It's one of my favorites. Like there's three, but like I think it's my favorite. Like it's really good. Like you said, it sets everything else up. You get kind of this fun interplay between Pitt and Redford than you do in the first arc or the third arc.
Yeah,
but yeah, it's just so good. It's like their interplay. Like you said, the dialogue is really, really good. I totally forgot who actually wrote this. If this was just,
I don't recognize either his name.
No,
David Arata and Michael Frost Beckner. No, I don't recognize.
But just it's so good. I mean, even like it's not really a comedy, but there's so many good parts of like do a great job of making these characters feel real and human. And getting to a point of like, hey, like when they're when they're in Lebanon, and they're going to like breakfast or whatever, and they have to like get through all the battling that's going on, like that becomes normal. Like you're in Beirut in a war zone. Like sometimes you have to, run down an alley as gunfire's being shot over your head so you can get really good breakfast.
I remember criticizing this movie for something that on a rewatch really wasn't as big a problem as I thought it was. which was the flashback to when they first meet in Vietnam in 75.
Interesting. Okay.
And I think it had to do with the fact that the movie's made in 2001, but it's set in 1991.
Mm-hmm.
And my brain was like, oh, 2001 back to 75, and they didn't really do anything to make Redford look any younger. And really the same was true of Pitt. But if you start doing the math, 91 to 75, 16-year gap, less of a big deal.
Hey, but they did give him longer hair.
Oh, and put aviators on him. And I think a hat maybe too. I don't know if he was wearing a hat.
Yeah, he had a hat and longer hair.
But a hat, longer hair, glasses, DH somebody 16 years easy.
Yeah.
running Hollywood. Pre-computer de-aging Hollywood was hysterical.
Yeah. I can understand that. I mean, I can kind of forgive it as well. But I mean, though I didn't have that problem. I didn't actually even realize this was supposed to be in 91. The actual, like, his whole thing with like in the present day was supposed to be 91. I thought
it is
interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
That adds a little bit more.
It does. But
like just from the get-go, like immediately from the get-go with the failed prison break, like, and then the pop-up the spy game, and then it goes in. It's just absolutely
it moves
fantastic.
So quick.
Yeah. Like, I mean, because that whole sequence is phenomenal just by itself. Like, very little dialogue. It's all kind of just you're following along, going, "What is going on?" And then we pop into Redford waking up to the call from the guy from Hong Kong, his buddy Duncan.
I mean, Tony Scott will not let you sit through an edit that is boring.
Yeah,
like the guy just he didn't tolerate it. It's interesting to compare him with his brother Ridley. I would say Ridley's top end as a filmmaker is higher than Tony, but if you look at Tony Scott's filmography, he's more consistent.
Mm-hmm.
Much more consistent with what he delivers. Because Ridley, I mean, we'll just say it. We've discussed several recent ones. He's got some stinkers on his resume. He just does.
Mm-hmm.
I still consider him an all-timer, but Tony, stylistically, Tony had a whole aesthetic all to his own that he really leaned into later. And then, just a little more consistent with.
I don't think. Yeah, I'll completely agree with you because there's nothing on here that I think is to the level of quality of Ridley. But I mean, you've got some amazing stuff in here, like just good, like Top Gun, Crimson Tide, Days of Thunder.
I mean, his best are probably like True Romance, and then I would say like Man on Fire. I think Man on Fire with Denzel is just an incredible film.
Yeah.
That's the one where I kind of knock the hyper edit on it, but you can't dismiss the content and performance of him and Fanning in that one. But
I do wish that he hadn't passed in 2012 and that we got some more movies because I wasn't a huge fan of his remake of Taking of Pelham 1, 2, 3.
Right.
Yeah, but I was interested to see where his career would have gone had he, what could have happened or what movies were made by other directors that he would have been a part of. But I don't know. But yeah, for me, like Spy Game, Enemy of the State, like that's
Crimson Tide's like an all-timer for me too.
Yeah. Well, Top Gun, of course, because it's Top Gun.
And Top Gun on the track. Days of Thunder.
Dude, just quick side note as it came up, and we're talking about Pitt and Days of Thunder, is I can't get the thought process of when we're talking about F1 of the follow-up movie of doing a Days of Thunder F1 kind of mashup between Pitt and oh my goodness, Cruise's characters. Like I thought that was brilliant when you said that. I mean,
it wasn't my idea. It was Kaczynski's. It was Joseph. It was the director of F1. It was Kaczynski's idea.
But you were the one who was saying that they should be like against each other, enemies.
Oh, absolutely. Right? And and force the audience to pick a side.
Yeah. That's I can't get that in my head. But anyways, I digress. That's That's a good movie. But back to Spy Game.
Spy Game. Yeah.
So I mean, really, like I don't like. This thing barely made more money than what its budget was. It was like $30,000 more than its budget, which is just, or $30 million more than its budget. which is nothing, like just terrible. Like I really don't know what's going on with this.
These espionage movies don't make a bunch of money.
Yeah.
They don't. Like if you're going to go back through even the best of the best stuff.
Yeah.
Zero Dark 30 didn't make a bunch of money.
No.
It's one of the best movies I think I've ever seen. So it's just it's the niche that this stuff sits in. It's not got a broad audience. Like it just doesn't. I love it. I know you love it. Anything with actual spy tradecraft done kind of in a more grounded manner, which this is. There's not anything really particularly fantastical in this. I mean,
he doesn't have laser wristwatches.
No.
Pens.
I mean, probably the biggest suspension of disbelief would be the very beginning, where you have to trust that he was like kind of electrocuting himself in a manner that wouldn't actually kill him. But
so I always took that being that the pill actually is what stopped his heart, because he put the KY jelly on his hand.
Did he put the KY?
So for me, I feel like at least what my takeaway is, and it's still a suspension of disbelief, but that jelly or whatever he had in his hand actually protected him from being electrocuted.
Okay,
and so that was all him like pretending to be electrocuted, but then the pill took in, and that's what stopped his heart.
That's right.
And then
I do remember him taking the pill.
The needle from when they were testing him when he was quote unquote dead, it's what kind of restarted everything. So yeah,
it's really cool sequence.
Oh, it is.
And those guys given in the cholera shots are like, you got 6 minutes. I don't think you got enough time, man.
But I like excuse me. But Tony does the thing, but in all of the kind of villains in this movie, is his villains aren't idiots. Like
no,
they're intelligent. They are good foils to both Pitt and to Redford, of like, especially like in the beginning, just in the escape, having it, the like kind of the guy who's in charge, like looking at the van and the dead, and then looking at the guy with the gum and just going, something's not adding up right, and then get into it. Or even, oh my goodness, I forget what the main villain's name is, Harker, that kind of really dislikes Redford's character,
played by Stannis Baratheon.
It is, isn't it?
It's Stephen Delane, man.
I didn't even,
and he's really good. But he's great as Harker. But that's Stannis. Kind of disappeared for a while, and then pops back up as a major role, and he's great as Stannis. Even though the character's frustrating to watch, but all the actors in this are really, really good. And I didn't recognize the gal that plays Elizabeth Hadley at first, and then I looked her up, and she's the first wife love interest in Braveheart.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that gets savagely murdered. Yeah, and she's really good. I always kind of wondered why her career didn't really take off, but because I think she turns in a pretty good performance here as well, even though she didn't have a ton of screen time, but. Yeah.
But going back to Delane and his like performance, I was like, he still shows that he's intelligent. There's a reason why he's in his position, kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Maybe not so much on his knowledge on spy stuff as opposed to kind of more the political side of things or the bureaucratic side of things, but at least he's only letting Redford's character lead him along so far. Like he's constantly asking stuff and doing stuff, checking up on him, and kind of unfortunately, fortunately in this case, but Redford's character is just that step ahead, and it doesn't feel like Delane's character is dumb. It's just he's just not as smart as Redford, and I like that. Like I hate when you have to kind of believe like the bad guy's dumb. This is why they got away with this, or that I like to kind of have this foils against each other, like chess players kind of moving back in their pieces and getting everything set up. Like at the end where he's just like, you have calls, you've got satellite imagery, like all this stuff feels like he's got him, nailed him to a wall. And also I'm like, hey, using company resources for personal benefit. Yep. There you go.
Yep. Researching my retirement home in the Bahamas.
Yeah.
Which he never gets.
No. Because he broke his one rule. He's like, don't ever spend money on an asset or another agent.
I have to say though, like what he had in the bank for retirement account, not great.
No,
maybe,
well, especially
maybe he was married 4 times.
Well, and also he was going to spend it all on like the house, but what are you going to actually live off of? Like, I mean, I guess he probably gets a government.
Other accounts.
Yeah,
I bet he had other accounts. Yeah,
well,
that was the one to buy the house, to buy the property.
Depending on when he started, he probably also gets a pension. So it's probably that. It's probably just the buying of the property, and he gets a pension from the government for.
So I was going to say, there's 2 screenwriters here. I'm not sure who you give more credit to, whatever. But one of them is this David Arata, and he is really good because he wrote the screenplay for Children of Men.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay, all right, yeah.
He actually has not written a bunch. Broke Down Palace, Spy Game, then Children of Men, and then something called The Angel, and has one in pre-production, but called Inversion. Yeah, the script is really good. It's really tight.
Yeah, just excellent, and I love the. So I was reading an article I was talking about, but I love the scene when they're in Germany. I think it was in Germany or whatever, when they're on the rooftop doing like the little like after Klaus or whatever, they like he drops him at the border and the guy gets killed or whatever, and he was just like, and Redford's kind of reaming him like, don't ever disobey an order again, all that kind of stuff. So apparently Scott really wanted to have a helicopter to do that scene, and there's 2 things. One, they were over budget or something, like the producers were like, no, we're not doing it. So Tony was like, I'm going to get it myself. And so he paid for the helicopter shot himself. And even Redford was like, this is dumb. What are you doing? Like, this is an intimate conversation. Like, what are you thinking? And then he watched the shot, like, after it was edited. He goes, all right, I take everything back. Well done. This was excellent. Like, good job, you know? And I love that shot. Like, I think it's, like, it is one of the iconic shots of this film. And just, like, just that little 360 zip around before there were drones.
I don't know if you noticed, the guy that he's trying to get across from East Germany is also from Private Ryan. That ends up going back into enemy lines and teaming back up with the enemy that they let go and then shooting Hanks' character. Yeah. I thought he showed up in one other movie that I've seen, but I can't remember.
What was the Russian one that had Jude Law in it? Name is
Enemy at the Gates.
Enemy at the Gates.
I don't think he's in that, but
not, okay.
I don't think so.
For some reason I thought so. But
the Russians with British accents.
And then you have Ed Harris as the German sniper.
Conan didn't even try to do anything with
terrible.
I like Enemy at the Gates a lot, but
yeah, that's pretty rough. It's pretty rough.
And there's serious questions about the actual confirmed kills of Vasily Zaitsev as well. Like that
he was that. Like, it was probably just
that he was that prolific. Yeah, I don't know.
So there's a fun tidbit about this, that apparently Pitt turned down the Bourne Identity with Doug Liman to do this.
Did you confirm this? Because you mentioned this on another episode, and is that confirmed or?
Still not confirmed, but like I keep getting like a little like people talk about saying, oh yeah, like we've heard that this is, that he didn't do it. So
right,
because I think when we talked about the Bourne Identity of whether or not what would it be like with Pitt in it. So let's see.
I mean, yeah, it sounds.
But
sounds confirmed. Yeah, I'm seeing enough.
Yeah,
I'm seeing enough good sources to confirm that is true.
Okay.
Yeah,
and honestly, but like.
That he was in the mix to star in Jason Bourne, but yeah, Spy Game commitment ultimately took him out of the running. So
yeah, but I do think that it worked out because I think Matt Damon definitely owns that role.
I think Damon fits the book character better because he's a little more nondescript looking than Pitt.
Yeah, Pitt is too pretty for.
He is for an agent that's supposed to really blend in. Well, I agree.
And then there's enough of Damon, especially in like Bourne Identity, like kind of can flit in and out of being American or like European looking kind of thing. And so like you said, like that nondescript, that able to blend in really, really works for him. But even if going back, I would have probably also still picked this too. I mean, you're going to do a Redford movie or.
Yeah, but you're not the lead.
You're not the lead, but you're in a Redford movie. Like, I mean, if you really wanted to work with Robert Redford. So
on paper, it makes sense to me why you would take this if you were presented in 2000, let's say in the year 2000, right? There are 2001 releases. If you're presented this versus the Bourne Identity and you look at all of the known quantities, I can see why you would take this. Tony Scott directed versus Doug Liman, who hadn't done nearly as much. Like a really established director. Redford.
Mm-hmm. Well, and you're also still trying to get yourself out of the pretty boy game, you know, because, I mean, he had done...
Well, I think Fight Club accomplished that.
And like 12
Fight Club was the
Monkeys.
film that changed my opinion of him completely.
Yeah.
Because 12 Monkeys as well.
Yeah. I mean, but you'd done 12 Monkeys, but you were still playing second fiddle to Bruce Willis. I mean, Fight Club, you are sharing the screen with Ed Norton, basically, or sharing the film as kind of
he steals.
Yeah, he does.
That movie.
But you're still talking, it's not, like, if I remember correctly, it wasn't a big hit, like, in the theaters. Like, it definitely found,
No.
Yeah, it found itself.
This was a good DVD play for him. Spy Game.
Yeah. So,
I mean, I have this on DVD.
But then you have him in Snatch, and then he does the Mexican. So, like, again, he's still trying to get out of his, like, romantic lead. And you do this. I mean, yeah, sure, you do the Bourne Identity, but an unknown property or something with Robert Redford where you're going to have more people see you, most likely, like, and see what you can do. And that's not a romantic role.
I mean, think about how busy he was. Like, he came out with this and Ocean's 11 in the same year.
Yeah, just crazy.
Ocean's 11 definitely helped his profile.
In some ways, I really think Ocean's 11 really...
I think so.
Drastic, like, really cemented him in going, I am more than just the pretty boy romantic lead.
I think it did the same thing for Matt Damon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now, I've always kind of considered Pitt the bigger movie star than Damon, just as far as international appeal. But I would probably consider, not by much, but I'd probably maybe consider Damon a little bit better actor. But there's not much of a gap.
No, I mean, and I think it's more about some of the movies that they've picked to do. Yeah. As opposed to, like, Damon is much more likely to do the art house pick, the one that's not going to make a lot of money.
Right.
Where, you know, Pitt is much more of the movie star aspect, where, like you said, Matt Damon's more of the actor. But so, I mean, he doesn't really have he doesn't have. Oh, what am I trying to think? I can never remember the CIA one where he plays something really...
The Good Shepherd.
Really, yeah, The Good Shepherd. Like, that's a very different movie than Spy Game. You know, even it's kind of about espionage as well. And so, like, I don't know, something like... I still maintain Damon was too young for that role. Yeah.
It didn't make that much sense. I liked it, but I thought he should have waited. He should have waited to make The Good Shepherd, like, probably another 5 years. Because he's supposed to be so much older by the end of it. It's like, it didn't make a lot of sense.
Yeah, but when he goes off to do different stuff, it's most of it's like with pretty good directors, or, you know, and bigger flicks that have some money behind them. Very few of them are going to be smaller budget art house flicks. So that's kind of where I'm at with the difference between the two, is that it just seems like he's good. He has a lot of fun, but he does the bigger budget films, and you know what? He's great in them, and that's hey, fantastic.
Tons of filming locations for this.
Yeah. Oh,
gosh, they shot everywhere.
They did.
Man, Hungary, the UK, Morocco, British Columbia. They actually did shoot in Lebanon, Berlin, Israel. Jeez.
Like, for example, like, I have a hard time seeing Pitt do something like The Talented Mr. Ripley or The Legend of Bagger Vance. You know, something that's a little bit,
right,
you know, more interesting, as opposed, like, that's smaller, not going to get as wide a viewing. So that's kind of where I'm at. But so if you haven't seen this movie, go watch it. Like, seriously, don't believe whatever you read. Like, again, when I was like reading what other people reviewed it, and they were just talking about, like, hated some of the flashbacks. There's so many flaws. It's some of the cuts are distracting. Like, I didn't get any of that. I was like, this is just, it moves along. It's. In
fact, I think it's aged really well with audiences that have attention spans that are shorter than they were 20 odd years ago. I think Tony Scott's style, like, has aged like a fine wine. I think his style has influenced a whole bunch of, like, action thriller directors now into how you put a movie like that together that tries to hold a waning attention span. Yeah, I think Scott's library is really, really quite good. And this is one of the better ones. I mean, it's like not even a middling entry, I don't think, is for him. I think it's one of the better ones from that era. Enemy of the State was really good too.
Yeah.
It almost serves as a companion piece to this. It's like,
well, it looks like the other side of it, because like that's very much of like anti-government espionage.
It's NSA as well.
Yeah. And then this is more of like, this is how it benefits you kind of a thing. So it's like the flip of the coin of like, hey, we use it to save people or do other stuff.
Right. Well, I don't have anything.
No, neither do I. But it's I was just absolutely. I enjoyed watching this so much again. Like, sat down, like, Laura got really mad because I was just kind of watching it, and she was doing something else, and she came and she's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Oh, I got to watch Spy Game." She's like, "You're watching Spy Game without me?" And I was like, I'll restart it. I'm so sorry. So, but, yeah, it was good. So she just picked it up where we're at. So she was like, "No, I've seen it enough times." And so she was really...
It's easy to get caught up on a rewatch where like you pretty much can jump in wherever. It's pretty easy to follow.
Yeah, and just kind of keep moving along. Just jump on in and go for the rest of the ride. So my biggest gripe about this entire film is right at the end, where Pitt has been, and spoilers for those who don't, but this is a 24-year-old movie, so statute of limitations is gone, but Pitt is supposed to have been beaten for almost 24 hours, right? Mm-hmm. To like and he's sitting there, and the helicopter pilot is just like, there's an Operation Dinner Out, and he's just like, "What's that?" But his voice is so like normal, and like he's shouting it and stuff like that. He looks terrible, but his voice is so steady.
Yeah, the performance isn't.
Yeah. It doesn't really match
condition.
Yeah, he's too, like, the voice is like, I don't know, like too strong, too virile. Like, if just like this guy hasn't been hurt at all, So, and that's the one thing too. Like, I don't know if I needed all the reminders that he was being tortured, all the quick flashes of him getting hit or guns pointing to his head.
They were trying to emphasize the sense of urgency that he didn't have that much time left, but
we have time to talk about how we met and his tradecraft. And all, like, it just, I always find that kind of funny too.
This is all there is of these files. Most of it's in here. Old school.
So let's sit around for 10 hours and let me tell you stories.
Deliberate, yeah. Let me tell you about this horse that my dad had.
I understand he had plans that he was trying to make happen, so he's trying to stall them. So, I get it. So, but that's the one thing. It's just like the voice doesn't match the beaten nature of his face, but
it's pretty forgivable by that point.
Oh yeah, easily.
All right, well, we appreciate everybody listening this week as we revisit a film from the catalog of Brad Pitt and the late Robert Redford. And I know there's a couple more Redford pictures that I want to get on the pod, and we'll do that here soon. But lost a legend, but this is a good one near the end of his acting career. Yeah, he still had it for sure. Owns the role.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Appreciate everybody listening. We will catch you next week.